Happy Camper Radio, episode 49. Come on, let's go camping. Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to another episode of the Happy Camper Radio Show, the only place you need to be if you're ready to talk camping. Camping is what we're about. Camping is all we talk about here on the show. And no sooner does he show up back at camp, but he pulls a Houdini act on us. I'll get that right. Yes, Daniel is nowhere to be found. He has reinvented the definition of the empty chair. I don't know about that guy. I really don't. But, he may be back with us at camp next week. I know you were all excited about having him back here last week, and he lightened things up a little bit. But anyway, we've got a great episode here for you today. We are going to be talking about a subject that is inspired by a couple of our longtime listeners, Frankie Mohammed and Dan Cole. We're going to be talking about truck tents today. If you're a guy like myself who enjoys camping by himself, the family is, already grown and moved on and what have you, and, you're just by yourself and you own a pickup truck, this may be the way you want to go. But we'll be talking about that in depth on today's show. Let's not waste any time getting our campfire lit. I've got the wood all stacked. I've got plenty of refreshments here. Just pull up a chair, bring your friends, your family, your loved ones. We always have room for one more at this campsite. The only place to be. We are the Happy Camper Radio Show. By the way, our phone number here is 404-537-CAMP. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Happy Camper Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker and add us to your circles on Google+. You can access any one of our social media sites very simply by going to our homepage, which is www.happycamperradio.com. And while you're at it, make sure you click on the RSS feed if you haven't already done that. This way you can subscribe to the program and never miss a single episode of our show. Hey, some shout outs here to some newcomers who reached out to us on social media this week. To Stephen Raleigh from Pennsylvania. He likes us on Facebook. To Darren Cabin, and also to Frederick Church of New Zealand, who is touring the countryside in his motorhome. Thank you all so very much for joining us. And Frederick, I've got to admit, I love the name of your motorhome, the Fred Rock Cafe. I hope to run into you sometime. You never know what the world holds in place for us. We may cross paths one of these days, and it'd be great sitting by the campfire with you and having a great conversation, as I would each and every one of our listeners here on the show. All right, now, for some of you out there who may consider buying a tent for your pickup truck, if you're a guy like me, on the other hand, I still enjoy loading up the pickup truck with all kind of camping gear. I like setting up the big show. I like to have my gear in place. I love to show off my campsite. I love to entertain. So yes, I bring a lot of gear with me, so I can't say that a truck tent will do me justice right now. Of course, I'm not going to stay young forever, and just like I mentioned a second ago, you don't know what the future holds. So I may have to, do something else later on down the road, whether maybe get a motorhome like Frederick has there, or I'm just may downsize to a truck tent. Just don't know at this particular point. But anyway, that's the subject we're going to talk about today, because truck tents, believe it or not, are quite popular for some campers. They come in all different shapes, sizes, and designs. And before doing this show, I had an opportunity to do some research on this subject matter, and I was really surprised at what I found. You can get truck tents in a wide variety, like I say, of sizes, shapes, and designs, and they have a variety to fit a number of different truck beds, whether your truck bed is short or long. Say you have a 6-foot bed or an 8-foot bed. They make a truck tent to fit the bed of your pickup truck. Now, they do include quite a bit of options, too. They have tents that extend all the way to your tailgate. Maybe that's all you're looking for. Maybe that's all you require. On the other hand, they do make some bigger models that extend all the way into a full-size tent with plenty of stand-up room. It really all depends upon what you're looking for, what your taste is, and what you plan on doing as far as camping goes. Now, if you plan on just looking for a place to set up camp for the night, and you don't have any major plans, you're going to be gone the next day, you just want to bed down for the night, then maybe a truck tent that extends to your tailgate is all you're going to need. Now, there are also some advantages and some disadvantages, and I do want to cover both of those today because, buying a tent, I want to say, is almost like buying a house. You don't want to make a knee-jerk decision. This is something that you are going to be using not just this year, but probably several years down the road. So whatever you buy, you want to be comfortable with it. You want to be excited about it. You want to make sure that you have something that is going to suit your needs. Now, the advantages of having a truck tent. First of all, again, it's great for the single camper. You can set these truck tents up virtually anywhere. You don't necessarily have to be at a public or private campground. Let's just say you are going to the races. NASCAR. Have you ever been to a NASCAR race before where they've got tons and tons of motorhomes and travel trailers and things like that set up? Maybe you're a NASCAR fan and you do not have a travel trailer or a motorhome. This may work wonders for you because you're going to park your vehicle, you are going to be stationary, you're not going to be going anywhere, and all you need is sleeping accommodations for only yourself. Now, they provide great cover and privacy just like any other tent. And they are great for campers who require very few or limited accommodations. Here's some of the disadvantages. First of all, you have limited space. There is not much room to move around inside one of these truck tents. There's little or no room for storage. If by chance you are bringing a knapsack with a change of clothes, maybe your toiletry items included in there, then that's about all the room you're going to have. There's not going to be any stand-up room either. Have you ever tried changing clothes while lying down? I have. It's not a great experience. On the other hand, if you by chance are camping at a place where you have, say, a bathhouse where you can easily go in and change clothes, then that problem is already solved. But again, you have very limited room, you have no stand-up space at all. And also, you're not going to have room, and we haven't discussed this before, but I'm going to have a subject matter on this a little later down the road. You're not going to have room in there for a portable toilet. Some people carry portable toilets and keep them inside their tents, as opposed to getting up and getting dressed and running down to the bathhouse to use the facilities, which may be a little bit of a walk away from where you are camping. So some people do invest in these little portable toilets, and they come complete with an instruction manual and what have you. They come in a variety of sizes and makes and models too. But you're not going to have room for one of them inside the bed of your pickup truck. So keep that in mind too. And here is the most important thing I want to point out too. If you're going to set up camp with your pickup truck and you put a truck tent on top of it, don't make plans to go anywhere. You're going to be stuck there, and if by chance something comes up where you have to go out and you don't have anybody to give you a ride, you're going to have to break down camp. You're going to have to break down your tent to put your vehicle into gear and drive somewhere. In other words, you're not going to be able to go down the road with this tent on the back of your pickup truck. That is one big disadvantage of owning one of these truck tents. So if you want to get one and you want to engage in this type of camping lifestyle, then keep that very important point in mind. you're going to have to break down if you want to get behind the wheel and drive your truck somewhere, even if it's just down the road to the convenience store. Now, what about your sleeping surface inside the bed of your pickup truck? Let's talk about that for a moment. Naturally, you do not want to sleep on a metal surface. I have done that in my younger years in an emergency situation, and I had a cap on the back of my pickup truck at that time, and I had a big Arctic hunting outfit on, and I thought I was going to be comfortable. That was going to be enough padding. That was going to be enough to keep me warm. How wrong I was. You're definitely going to have some sort of a padding to sleep on. You're going to want to have possibly an air mattress. Now, roll-up foam mattresses are great, but they're not going to provide a whole lot of comfort to you. Hopefully, you're going to be bringing a sleeping bag along with you, and you're not going to be like Daniel and bring a comforter and a pillow. So whatever you decide you're going to have that you're going to climb under, whether it be a sleeping bag, whether it's going to be your comforter, your pillow, whatever the case may be, you're going to definitely want to have some sort of a padding to put down between you and the bed of your pickup truck. Now, air mattresses are great. Here's the problem with air mattresses. First of all, you're not going to be able to get anything but a single-sized air mattress inside of the bed of your pickup truck. Anything else will not fit. So forget about the full-size model, the queen size, the king size. Not going to work. You're only going to be able to use a single-sized air mattress. Now, they do make these air mattresses, and I found these online too, and they're pretty neat. They actually make air mattresses that are designed to fit inside the bed of your pickup truck, and they fit around the wheel wells. So you'll be able to get comfort all the way around. Now, you'll spend a little bit more money on these type of air mattresses, but I want you to keep in mind that they do make those, and they are available. Now, you're also going to need something to blow up that air mattress. I have both of these items. I have a foot pump. I also have a battery-operated pump to push air inside that air mattress. If you want to save yourself a whole lot of trouble and a whole lot of work, spend the extra money and buy yourself a battery-operated air pump. It's going to take you forever to use a foot pump to pump air into that air mattress. And folks, I can't tell you this enough. You do not want to go into any type of camping situation that is going to require you to work and require you to overexert yourself. That's what you're trying to get away from. So make sure that you make it as easy as possible on yourself. You know, it's a matter of personal choice, but if you want to spend a little extra money and save yourself all that extra aggravation and time, get yourself a battery-operated pump that's going to inflate your air mattress for you. Whether you get a regular single-size mattress or one of those fancy models I just spoke of that's designed to fit inside your pickup truck. And again, you can find them online. Just do a Google search on air mattresses for pickup trucks, and you'll see some of them out there. And you'll also be able to find them in a lot of your camping supply stores too, both in the catalog, in-store, and online. And that brings us up to where you can buy your truck tents at, as well as some of these items like the air mattress. First of all, if you go to a big box store, say a huge department store, you may find some truck tents there. But don't look for a wide variety. You may find one or two, and you may not even find the one that is going to fit the size of your truck. So the supplies are going to be limited in the big box department stores. Now, camping stores, on the other hand, yes, you're going to find some models there. You can also go online. And folks, this is where I do a lot of my shopping. Because when you go online, you can do it right from the comfort of your very own home. The world is out there. All you have to do is reach for it, and you're probably going to find something that you're going to fall in love with. The only thing, and I've stressed this in previous episodes before about buying products online, you want to make sure that you observe the return policy of the place you are buying your goods from. You want to make sure that in the event something doesn't work out, if you get a defective product or you get a product that you decided, well, no, this is not really what I wanted. Since placing this order, I have found something better. I want to go ahead and return this. You don't want to tie up your money. You don't want your money to disappear. So make sure you observe the return policies of the place that you are buying your products from. But you can definitely grab a lot of good deals online just by reaching out there and doing it. And that's just not reserved for truck tents or air mattresses. That's a variety of camping supplies. And you can pretty much piece together your camping outfit just by shopping online and getting exactly what you want. Now here's another option that I'm not going to recommend. You can go to eBay. I do not like buying used equipment. And I stressed this to Daniel last week when we were talking about buying stuff, for your camping, your travel trailer and what have you. When you buy something used, a lot of times you're buying somebody else's problems. And if you decide you're going to buy a used truck tent, you don't know what you're getting. You may set that thing up. It may look wonderful on your truck. It may match the color scheme of the exterior finish of your vehicle. But there may be a dozen or two tiny little pinholes in it, and you won't know until you're set up somewhere at camp and it starts to rain, and next thing you know, you are flooded inside the bed of your pickup truck. You do not want that. And I can tell you this much too. I had an opportunity to do some pricing online between what you can buy new at, say, a camping supply store and what you can buy used on eBay. And I'll tell you this, folks, the price is not much different. It's not that far off. So my recommendation, if you're going to buy something that's that you're going to be using for a very long time, such as a truck tent, definitely reach out and buy something new. Spend that little extra money. You're going to get eventually what you want, and it's going to last you, provided you take good care of it. Now, determining your needs. Okay, here, first of all, consider your comfort. How many people are in your camping party? Again, if you're by yourself, you're going to be all right. But if there are two people in your camping party and you're going to be camping inside of a truck tent, you're going to be crowded. You're not going to have much room at all. And forget about 3 or 4 people camped out in the back there with you. I'm a big guy, 6'4". I stretch, I roll, I turn, I make all kind of racket at nighttime. Covers go flying everywhere. I need every bit of bed space that I possibly can have. And that includes being inside of a tent, not just a truck tent. So I need my room. I need to be able to move around. Consider the length of your truck bed. How much room do you have there? I wouldn't do very well in, say, a short bed pickup truck, being the fact that I'm 6'4", and a lot of these short beds are only 6 foot long. So that's something else you have to consider. Consider your height, your weight, all that stuff, and and then decide, is this something that's going to work for me? Here's something else you want to consider too. The distance between the ground surface and the tailgate of your pickup. Being a tall guy, I can drop the tailgate on my truck and comfortably sit down. If you're a short person, you may need a little help getting up on top of the tailgate. And in that case, you may need to purchase a set of tailgate steps. And they make them also, and you can find them online. You can find them just by doing a Google search or looking, shopping about your camping supply store, whether it be online or maybe walking about the store. Now, I've got a great pickup truck. My truck is 18 years old. It has 215,000 miles. I had the first major repair on that truck this past Thursday. A fuel pump went out. It cost me about $600 total to get repaired. I can't complain for having a truck that old and with that many miles. I got the work done and my truck is back on the road. Now, as far as the interior and exterior of my truck, that's another story. My truck is something that only the guys from Duck Dynasty would appreciate. But Neil, take a look at your vehicle. Is it a work truck? Is it commonly used for work? Is it well maintained? Is it polished and waxed? In the earlier days, mine was. But I can tell you this much, if you own a pickup truck, and a lot of you guys, you can relate to what I'm talking about here. If you've owned a pickup truck most of your life, you've probably made quite a few friends, because folks are always going to be calling upon you to help them move their stuff. It does happen. And of course, you bought a pickup truck most likely because you have things yourself that you're going to move. So you're going to have to also consider the condition on the inside of the bed of your truck. Consider maybe a bed liner if your truck is used for work purposes. If you don't already have a bed liner in there and you've got an old truck like I have, chances are the inside is going to be tore up a little bit. You've got to be mindful of some sharp edges, some torn metal. Watch out for those sharp little rocks in there too. Even if you've got a bed of a pickup truck that's in perfect condition, if you've got some tiny little rocks in there and then you put your air mattress on there, you're going to stand a chance of puncturing a hole in it, and there goes your comfort in the middle of the night. And your trip is probably going to be ruined. Because I've had an air mattress deflate on me in the middle of the night, and it woke me up pronto. So you don't want that. So take a look at the interior bed of your pickup truck. Are there any signs of rust? And you've got to keep in mind safety here too, folks. If you've got sharp metal, if you've got rust, if you've got, anything, and if you roll around like I do and thrash your arms and your legs, you don't want to get cut. And you don't want to have your camping experience turn into a medical emergency. Now let's talk about selecting the truck tent that's right for you. Definitely, you want a truck tent that's going to match the color scheme of your vehicle. You want to look at also the distance between the cab and the tailgate. You want to make sure that when you buy your truck tent, that you're going to buy the one that is designed for your truck. Don't make a knee-jerk decision. Don't jump into this just because it looks good. Don't grab the box off the shelf and run off with it. Do your homework ahead of time, and definitely shop around for the best prices. You can plan on spending between, say $150 to $400, depending upon what you're looking for. Take some time to read the reviews, and this is where your online shopping comes into play. If you find a model that you like, chances are, if it's a good store, if it's a well-known store that's been established for quite a few years, you're going to be able to hit the review button and find out what other people had to say about using that particular model of truck tent. Avoid that impulse buy. Please consider everything. One of the last things I do want to talk to you about here is safety. I don't care what type of camping you do. I don't care if it's in an RV. I don't care if it's in a motorhome. I don't care if it's sleeping under the stars on a piece of plastic. Safety is paramount in all cases. First of all, if you're going to purchase a truck tent and you're going to be sleeping in the bed of your pickup truck, never under any circumstances allow the engine in your vehicle to run while the truck tent is occupied. If you or somebody else is sleeping in the back of that truck, do not start your engine. Carbon monoxide fumes are extremely deadly. And you've got to consider where the exhaust is on your vehicle. It's right underneath you. And let's just say that you have some small holes in the bed of your pickup truck. Those carbon monoxide fumes can work their way up inside the bed where somebody is sleeping. And, you don't want this to turn into a disaster. You don't want this to turn into a bad situation all the way around for everybody. So I don't care how cold it is outside. Bring an extra layer of clothing with you. Do what you need to do. Okay, but never run the engine in your vehicle while that truck tent is in place. Also, and I mentioned this before, never attempt to drive while your truck tent is in place. These truck tents are not designed to be used on the road. They are designed for when you set up camp and you decide you're going to park for the night, you want to put your tent up, that's where it stays. Don't try driving down the road with this truck tent on the bed of your pickup truck. Also, once you do park, make sure that your emergency brake is in place and it is set hard. If you have small children around, watch them at all times. Keep an eye on them. You know, they're very inquisitive. A lot of times they want to help. I have mentioned this before when we were talking about camping and campgrounds, how kids like to run around. You know, next thing you know, they're running into the tent and, and they're bouncing off it. And that takes a lot of wear and tear on your camping equipment. So watch your young children for, not only for the roughhousing, but also for safety measures. Now, if you're considering a tent heater for the back of your pickup truck, again, you've got to be mindful of space, and also you've got to consider safety. Always, in all situations, you're going to want to follow the tent manufacturer's instructions to the letter. And that's just not for your tent, but that's for any piece of camping equipment that you may be using. It's been a great episode today. We are talking about truck tents here on the Happy Camper Radio Show, and it is time now for our featured campground of the week. Time to head out to the West Coast to the Driftwood Campground in Oregon. Do you like off-road vehicles? Do you own an off-road vehicle? This is a campground that you may want to consider. Now, from everything I read here, you don't really necessarily have to own a off-road vehicle to go camping at this campground, but it is a great place if you enjoy being on the coast, if you enjoy being on the ocean. The campground sits in the heart of Oregon's coastal dunes, a short distance from the beaches of the Pacific coast. The Oregon Dunes National Recreation Area, known for its wind-sculpted dunes reaching up to 500 feet above sea level, spans the coast for 47 miles. To the east are forests that extend up the Oregon Coast Mountain Range. Take a look at their website. It is on our featured campground tab this week on the Happy Camper Radio website. Their activities and amenities includes beach access, campfire rings, drinking water, flush toilets, hiking, wildlife viewing. There's one of my favorite right there. They have a self-paid station, off-road vehicle trails, showers. It's a great place to go camping. Check out also on their website some things that you need to know before you head out. There are no RV hookups available in this campground, and there is a limit of 2 vehicles per site. All vehicles must stay within the striped, paved areas. But they've got some great pictures there on the webpage. It is our featured campground of the week. It is Driftwood, Oregon, and we're glad to have it as part of the Happy Camper Radio Show. And as always, my friends, if you have a campground that you would like for us to feature on the program, all you've got to do is drop us an email. You can email me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or the ghost here at the campsite today, Daniel, at happycamperradio.com. We'll pick that up. Make sure you include a link to the campground website so we can include it when we talk about that wonderful campground on our show. That's about going to wrap things up for me today here on the program, folks, and I'm so glad to have you along. It's been a great week. The weather is warming up. I hope it is warming up in your section of the country, too. Time to start breaking out that gear and getting ready to make your plans. Don't forget, you can catch us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, and add us to your circles on Google+. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper wherever he's at. And no doubt, my friends, you can be a happy camper too. We'll talk to you next week. This is Happy Camper Radio.